All right, everyone, welcome back once again to this Beefcast production. Going into a new series, new best of three here in the quarterfinals. Joining me, as always, is Snow. How's it going, Shay?
It's going well.
Is it really going well? Or is it going awesome?
It's going spectacularly.
Okay, that's not a word, but we'll pretend. We'll pretend. Going into this match here, it's going to be actually a random player versus our Zerg player. But let's get into it. On the top left-hand corner of TSL4 ESV Ohana, he's going to be our Zerg winner from a few matches ago, Kupak, a.k.a. Sam.
And in the bottom right, random player who rolled Protoss in blue trunks, TripleDK.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see this random player. How about yourself?
Yeah, random, not all that common.
Definitely
in
not.
Tournaments.
It's something that I used to play back at my formidable days as a young lad in a new StarCraft game, but you know, that was when the best players were all just like one base cheesing, and games often ended at 5 minutes. And I'd probably play at like a bronze level random these days, even though all of my matches are higher than that. But who cares, right? Anyway, we'll see how TripleDK does go ahead and go about this right now, dropping an early forge here. So it's looking like it's going to be pretty standard metagame right now from both these players. A 15 pool going to be coming out from our Zerg player, and going forge into cannon here on Ohana. So cannon before gate, cannon before nexus. This is a heavily defensive build here. TripleDK doesn't want to cut any corners, as the hatchery is going to be coming down here. The probe spots that hatchery going down, and I wouldn't be surprised to see this probe look to maybe do a little bit of cannon play of his own. Spawning pool is going to be finishing up here relatively soon, though, so we'll see. TripleDK's window is going to be closing rather rapidly.
Yeah, I mean, especially with no pilot there, I don't think we'll see him do anything like that.
Yeah, and right now we do see that the wall is starting to take shape over here for TripleDK. It's a bit strange of a wall, not exactly your typical Protoss wall, but whatever works for him will indeed work. I'm going to go ahead and throw down that gateway once again before Nexus. So he's really looking to play safe right now, and I don't necessarily disagree with this play. I think that playing safe is going to be the name of the game, especially against these players that you're not too familiar with, knowing that cheese could be coming out at any second. 4 Zerglings to be making their way out onto the map right now to go ahead and chase this probe down.
Expansion as well as a second cannon now back home for TripleDK.
Yeah, with that second cannon, he's going to be very well protected against any kind of early aggression here, and the Zerglings going to be making their way up, trying to maybe do a little bit of a run by, and one Zergling is going to be taken out, and actually 2 Zerglings are going to be taken out, so that's a little bit of a loss right there, and a third one even going to be taking a shot as well. But let's take a look at what the Zerglings did in fact see over here, and the Zerglings do see that there is in fact double cannon. He doesn't see, oh, he does see the gateway, or excuse me, the nexus as well. And Cybercore is going to be plopped down as well. Cybercore a little bit late here. Typically see that a little bit earlier, but with that second photon cannon coming out, it's going to be quite delayed. Now that the Nexus is confirmed, the third hatchery going to be coming down here from our Zerg player, as he does go ahead and macro up. So, seeing what we saw in the ZVZ out of Sam, how do you think that he might approach this game, Shay?
He's going very high. He's already got his third base going, so I'd expect to see him probably going for. I don't think we're going to see Hydras again, but definitely probably some Roaches as well as Festers, and eventually, if he gets, if he's going this aggressive early base now, we may see some Broodlord play later on. He also seemed to have a bit of a tendency for Ultralisk. I think we saw this in both games.
I think that is certainly a possibility. So right now, taking double gases right there at the 6:30 mark, completely standard here by our Zerg player. 2 of those Zerglings going to be continuing to work on the destructible rocks as they actually make their way back out onto the map, possibly to take some map control here. A nice early defense system with these overlords positioned in a line, just checking for any kind of movement from the Protoss army right here. And one Zealot actually going to be making its way into the Zerg third over here, as a couple of drones chase the Zealot, which is chasing the Queen. This is actually kind of hilarious to watch. A couple of Zerglings finally do make their way back. That's where those Zerglings were in fact headed. But that Queen just one hit away, and some good micro there from Sam. Manages to save that Queen, loses a lot of mining time, but Not too big of a deal. Roach Warren going to be coming down now as a Stargate gets plopped down for our Protoss player. Wait, is that double Stargate?
No.
Dude, that's double Stargate.
It is, it is. Yes, it is.
Alrighty. Working off of 4 gases there and a relatively low probe count. He's not going to have a ton of minerals here, but with the gases, that's all you really need for that double Stargate play. He's not going to be able to double produce Void Rays right now off of the probe count that he's at, especially working off of an additional 3 gateways as well, now that he's even started +1 weapons. But this could put on a lot of pressure here at about a 10 to 11 minute timing, working with something like 4 Void Rays, working with just a lot of gateway-based units, and that could be something that the Zerg player is unprepared for. Seeing double gas is not something that our Zerg player has done. He's not managed to get a scout in there just yet, but with that Overlord going to be coming in, he sees double Stargate. He's going to be able to prepare for this beautifully, but even knowing that it's coming, it's still going to be something that's relatively hard to defend. He'll probably want to get out a few extra queens. He'll probably want to get out a few spore crawlers. But just having a couple Void Rays on the map, and the fact that he has 2 Stargates means he's probably going to have 4 to 6 Void Rays when he finally hits here. This could be something that's very hard for our Zerg player to defend.
Well, it also leaves him the option of getting some Phoenixes out later on to go and harass Overlords, pick up queens, that sort of thing.
Very true. Lair finishing up right now. And what did you say we weren't going to see in this matchup, Shay?
I'm not sure.
You said we weren't going to see any Hydras.
Oh, I did, you're right. And there's the
Forget that. Hydras! Absolutely awesome unit to go ahead and defend once you have the large creep spread here, so that they're not quite as slow. And until Colossi come out onto the field, Hydras are actually very good at dealing with everything in the Protoss army.
Protoss Air 1 now as well. I'm going to revise my statement. I don't think we're going to see any Marauders in this match.
Yeah, well, I think I might have to disagree with you. I think there's actually a Terran that's going to come in. A new challenger has appeared, right?
A few Marauders were just, or not Marauders, Overlords were just Void Rated down.
A couple of those Void Rays just kind of hanging out right now, wanting to pick off, like you said, a few of those Overlords, as a couple Hydras are trying to make their way over as well. And 2 Hydras will do a pretty good amount of damage to that Void Ray. I would have liked to have seen him take out that 1 Void Ray there. And both of these Void Rays are going to be falling down to about half-life here. One of them might even get picked off here, but the Hydra is too slow off of creep right there. So it's not quite hard of the swarm yet, poor Hydras. Then you'll be able to catch up to some Void Rays maybe. But a total of 4 Void Rays on the map, as Void Rays 5 and 6 will be making their way out relatively soon here, in addition to Protoss air weapons level 1 going to be completing very quickly here, and a 3rd base going up for our Protoss player, choosing to go ahead and take his map control and make a 3rd base with it. But the Zerg player choosing that it's actually his time to move out right here, as the 6 Void Rays make his way across the map to the 4th. As the Void Rays will engage on the 4th first, it's going to be really up to the Zerg here how he responds to this, whether he goes for the big all-in right here or if he chooses to fall back. But the Zerg ground army is actually going to just absolutely decimate the Protoss ground army right here, meaning that it's going to be up to those 6 Void Rays to defend everything that the Zerg has at him. And I just don't think that the Zerg player, or excuse me, the Protoss player is going to be able to defend all of these units.
No, I mean, you do see a little bit of warp in here, more sentries. I mean, the shields really were going to be key there, or the force fields, and they just weren't coming.
And the Void Rays do actually engage with the Hydras here, and the Hydras are actually taking a battering, and 3 Void Rays are going to be left when all is said and done here, as all of the Hydras have fallen, and there's 13 additional Hydras in production right now, but the Protoss has gone ahead and let his main base fall right now. The natural, has been breached by the Zerg player right now, as the natural Nexus is going to be falling relatively soon here. A total of 4 Void Rays going to be making their way out right now to try to clean up as much of this army as possible. And the Forge falls right there with just a couple of seconds left on +1 ground armor. The Probe's going to be making their way over to the 3rd Nexus, and these Roaches will be cleaned up eventually by the 4 Void Rays, a couple of them already fully charged. But the problem is how much damage is going to be done before that. The main Nexus is going to fall right here, and the Hydras making their way across the map might even make their way into the 3rd to try to eliminate the last Nexus here. 5 Void Rays going to be charged up here onto these Roaches, and they do eventually kill them, but with only 275 minerals right now, the Protoss player doesn't. Okay, with 800 minerals, something just got canceled right there, and he's gonna have enough money to rebuild that Nexus. But all of these Hydras gonna be coming out right now with +1 weapons and a superior Hydra number. Every one of these Void Rays are going to be falling, and it looks like Sam is actually going to take game number 1 here with the Hydra push.
Well, I will never again say unit will not appear in a game.
Yeah, I think that you might have actually just cursed TripleDK.
And there's the GG.
Sam, once again, just showing some brilliant decision making. We saw it in his ZVZ. We're seeing it now in his ZVP. He knows how to read his opponent. He knows what they're weak to, and he's able to just absolutely capitalize on it. So some brilliant decision making leads to a quick and swift victory for Sam in game 1. I've been your casting host Beef. Joining me is Snow. We're going to be moving on to game 2 here, see who takes home this best of 3 series and moves on to the semifinals. We hope to see you there.